Hello and welcome back. So today you'll be learning a lesson written by Neera Kashyap called as A Question of Space. Now this lesson or this story, it demonstrates how self-observation leads to self-improvement and change in attitude.
Despite maintaining a consistent rhythm, Vikrant found himself completely out of breath at the end of the 3.2-kilometer jog. His head pounded with the effort and with thoughts of the pressure his parents were mounting on him to gear up for the medical entrance test, still a year and a half away. Both successful doctors themselves. His parents were anxious that Vikrant ready himself to cope with the intensely competitive environment that had to be scaled for getting admission to a prestigious medical college.
So the scene begins with a jogging track. The main character, Vikrant, he found himself completely out of breath because he was having a 3.2-kilometer jog and he was maintaining a consistent rhythm, but still he was out of his breath only in 3.2-kilometer jog. Now his head was paining. All this effort and thoughts of the pressure that his parents were giving to him. For what? For medical entrance test, which was still 1.5 years away. He still had 1.5 years. Now both his parents, mother as well as father, both were successful doctors and they were much worried and anxious. They wanted him to gain admission to a prestigious medical college. So they were trying to show him how competitive the entire environment is. So you have to study hard, work hard for getting an admission to a prestigious medical college.
Class 11 had started with his mother's constant harping on the importance of the year for getting a good grip on science and maths, for viewing this as a foundation year for class 12th, for using this as a practice year for launching into the 12th board and medical entrance exams. His father quizzed him constantly on math, physics, biology till his head spun. The conflicts had acquired a distinct edge ever since he had met Anuj, who had spun into his life like a new universe right here on this jogging track.
Now class 11th had already started and that year started with his mother's constant harping. Every day she would keep on telling him the importance of this year because this is the year where you can have a good foundation. You can have a good grip on the subjects like science and maths, and that will be like a foundation for you if you study well in 11th, so that it will be helpful for your 12th, and that will be useful for your medical entrance exams. And his father would always keep asking questions, like he would give a small quiz to him every time on math, physics, biology. He was fed up. Vikrant was fed up with all this. He was having this so much of pressure there. But all this he would spin into a new life when he was with his friend called Anuj, and he had met Anuj on that same jogging track.
Anuj was not just a person with dynamic ideas on photography, on the connectedness between human beings and all other living species, on self improvement as a part of human evolution, on the cosmos. He had turned into a friend very quickly, a much older friend. While reading a book borrowed from Anuj and experimenting with Anuj's old Kodak camera, Vikrant knew that his parents had watched his new interest with growing dismay. His class grades had dropped. He had started skipping group tuitions, even the extra school classes designed for the weekends. An only child, as tension grew between Vikrant and his parents, so did his identity with Anuj.
Now, Anuj was not just a person who had some different ideas, creative ideas on photography, but he also had lot of knowledge on different things like self improvement as a part of human evolution, on the cosmos, on human beings and how we can connect to them, on and also about all other living species. He had turned into a friend very quickly, and he was a much older friend. He was elder to him. Now he had borrowed a book from Anuj. Vikrant knew. He came to know that his parents had watched his interest, the new interest that he had of spending more time with Anuj and watching the new creative ideas using the camera. So his parents were not that happy with it, and even his class grades, the marks had been dropped. It was coming down. He had started skipping the group tuitions which he had to go, even the extra school classes which was designed for the weekends. He started skipping that too, and he was the only child for them. Now, being the only child for Vikrant's parents, so there was the tension, or you can say there was some misunderstanding, and there would always be some fight, argument between Vikrant and his parents, and so did his identity change when he would be with Anuj.
Panting, Vikrant flopped onto a concrete bench just beyond which Anuj was exercising on the metal swing bars grouted into the earth. Nothing like a good workout under the blue sky. Much better than an air conditioned gym, said Anuj with satisfaction, leaping off the bars to drop into the bald grass. Hey, what's up? You look grim. Vikrant shrugged, and there was silence. Then he asked, did your parents put pressure on you to become a photojournalist?
Now he was jogging, so he was tired, he was panting, and he comes and he sits on that concrete bench where Anuj was exercising with his metal swing bars. Anuj is very happy and he says like nothing like a good workout under the blue sky in the open air. It's much better than that air conditioned gym where it is all tight and closed and all this artificial air. He was very satisfied. Then he looked at Vikrant and he says, hey, what's wrong with you? You look very sad. So Vikrant didn't say anything, he just shrugged. What is shrug? It's raising one's shoulders slightly and momentarily to express doubt or ignorance. Then he asked Anuj, saying that, did your parents put pressure on you too to become a photojournalist?
Oh no, laughed Anuj. I started on my own with journalism and then took up photography much later to make the stories alive visually. Then, after a pause, he said, is the pressure at home bad? Vikrant tried to shrug, but nodded instead. It seems to me that the pressure is worse for children of doctors, perhaps because medicine is considered the noblest of professions and gives prestige. But tell me, how do you react to pressure? Oh, I explain, I argue, I snap. Sometimes I even walk out. It is worse when I lose control.
So Anuj started laughing and he says, no, no, no. I started journalism by my own. And then I took up photography much later to make the stories alive visually. Only journalism, only writing. People were not attracted to that. So if you start up photography, with photography, if you put some journalism or you write something, it's more creative and people will start looking at it. It looks visually creative. Then he pauses for a minute and he says, is the pressure at home bad? Your parents are giving you too much pressure? So Vikrant tried to shrug again, but he nodded instead and he said, it seems to me that the pressure is worse for children of doctors, because medicine is considered the noblest of professions. And it gives prestige also. It's an honor to be a doctor. For me, it is very difficult for the children of doctors because they have high expectations. So how do you react to pressure? You tell me. So Vikrant says, oh, I explain, I argue, I snap. Sometimes I even walk out. And sometimes I cannot control myself. I lose control.
Yeah, but have you noticed how your body reacts? My body? No, not really. If you want to get control over a situation, you could start by first observing your body's reaction. your posture, body temperature, muscle contractions, breathing, the taste in your mouth.
So Anuj says, yeah, that all that is fine, but have you noticed how your body reacts? So Vikrant was like, my body? No, not really. I didn't observe all that. So Anuj says, if you want to get control over a situation, if something is wrong, you could first start observing what are the reactions that are happening inside your body. Like, for example, your posture, your body temperature, your muscle contractions, breathing, taste in your mouth.
How will that help? Asked Vikrant doubtfully. It will help you witness your reactions as if they were happening to someone else. By observing your body and its reactions, you also distance yourself from them. This distance will help you first see, then control your reactions, said Anuj. Then why not observe your body when you're feeling happy or excited or adventurous? Why only when you are under pressure? Quizzed Vikrant.
So Vikrant doubtfully he says, how will that help? When you are upset about something, if you start observing your body reaction, what is the connection? So Anuj says, it will help you witness your reactions as if they were happening to someone else. By observing your body and its reactions, you also distance yourself from them. What happens? Your mind diverts from that problem. You start giving more concentration on what is happening to your body. And this distance will help you first see and then control your reactions. Once you start giving your observations on your body and its reaction, you will distance yourself from the problem. You won't go to react to what they are saying, but your concentration will be on your body and its reactions, what is happening, and because of that you will see first like what all is changing, and then that will help you in controlling your reactions. So Vikrant is like, he's puzzled, he doesn't know, and he says, then why not observe our body when you are feeling happy or excited or adventurous? Why only when we are under pressure? Why is that?
Sure, why not? Actually, our range of expression is quite limited. If we get familiar with our full range, we will become aware of all our habitual expressions. But the next step is to practice expressions when there are no feelings to be expressed. I know this sounds daft, but think if you can express emotions without expressing them, said Anuj. Like how? Asked Vikrant. Okay, suppose you get news that you have won a free trip to the US. How would you react? Urged Anuj. The US? Wow! Exclaimed Vikrant, giving to his hands, body, and face such an exaggerated expression of glee that both collapsed laughing.
So Anuj says, sure, why not? Actually, our range of expression is quite limited. We have a limited range of expressions. We get familiar with our full range. Once we are familiar with our full range, we are aware of all the habitual expressions. But the next step is to practice expressions. So when there are no feelings to be expressed, you won't show your emotions there. So he is telling, I know it sounds very stupid, it sounds very foolish, but think if you can express emotions without expressing them. So Vikrant is like, how? So Anuj gives an example. So he says, okay, imagine, suppose you get a news that you have won a free trip to the US. So how will you react? So Vikrant, he with his entire hand, body and face, he just exaggerated expression of happiness, and he said, the US? Wow! I mean, obviously anyone will be happy when you get a good news or something. And they both started laughing. Looking at the reaction, they both started laughing there. I do hope you have understood the lesson till now, and the rest of the lesson will be continued in the next video. Until then, keep watching for more videos and do like and subscribe. Thank you.